Ah, there it is. I was wondering if there was going to be enough service for this to work. Look where I'm at. How beautiful. I'll show you the rest of this park. There's some swings down there. And then just beyond that, Patrick and Lily are playing. Hi. Welcome. We are in Buena Vista, Colorado right now. I'm so excited. I'm a Colorado native. I've lived here my whole life, but I've never been to Buena Vista. So I've never been to Telluride, and I've never been to Montrose. We're gonna go there, I don't know, when we feel like it, and go meet up with some friends. It's possible, you guys. It's possible. I'm living it. It's possible. It's possible to have the freedom to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with who you want to do it with, for as long as you want to do it, with no one to tell you no. But there's been some epiphanies that have popped up in my universe and in my awareness over the last 6 weeks or so. And I thought I would pop on and share them with you. One thing I know for sure is that if we are willing to grow through what we go through, and we are willing to be open and vulnerable, we can help other people that are going through the same thing. And I truly believe that this is how we speed up the learning curve, and we really begin to create the type of reality that we would like to live in. So, one of the things that I found that was impairing my ability to create my world, meaning like I would try to create, I would have this great idea, I am creative, I am intelligent, I am well qualified, however, I'd put the idea out into the world, or I would get the job, or I would go chase the idea, and I'd have all of this passion at the beginning, but something would happen, and it was like all of that fuel and all of that fire would just burn off and sizzle off really quick, and I would lose all of my momentum. And I would stall, and I would stop, and I would freeze. And then it felt like I would lose myself. It was like this subtle and slow disconnection from myself. And all of a sudden my life, the color would fade from my life again, and I would lose my joy, and I would lose my excitement, and I would lose myself. And I would wonder, what caused this? Like, what got me here again? And there was almost this feeling of like, I don't work. But I had an epiphany. If this is something that you relate to, pop some words in the comments. I think it's really important to talk about this kind of stuff. I think it's important to share ourselves. I think it's important to share our story. It is so helpful to know that you're not alone when you're going through something. So this is just a little bit of my life history. I saw this pattern over and over in businesses, in relationships, in my health, in my happiness, etc. This series of peaks and valleys, and it was almost all or nothing. Like, I'm either full out ecstatic happy, or I am borderline suicidal depressed. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out what was going on until earlier this year, when a big life crisis brought all of my trauma that I have experienced in my life front and center and in my face. Like, there was no more avoiding it. No more spiritual bypassing possible. No more, painting over it and pretending that it was something that it wasn't. It was right here in my face, and I had to take a good hard look at it. And what I discovered is that I never outgrew my people-pleasing tendency. I'm going to try to say that 10 times fast. People-pleasing, people-pleasing, people-pleasing. What is people-pleasing? Well, when you want to please another person, when you want to please somebody outside of yourself, it actually starts in childhood. It is a biological response to being born helpless, really requiring that the adults in your vicinity take care of you and feed you, etc. And so it's a naturally hardwired thing that happens to earn the love of your caregiver. Now, in a healthy relationship, healthy parent-kid relationship, the kid is raised with a feeling of autonomy, and there's this gradual release of responsibility for themselves, and there is a support along the way. However, if you are someone that grew up in an unhealthy home, meaning you ever experienced abandonment, divorce, neglect, parents that were, just checked out or frazzled or overworked, there's a lot of different things that can contribute to this feeling. But at some point, you didn't learn to turn off your people pleaser. So normally you would reach a point and that would turn off, and you would be a person that's able to decide for themselves, a person that's able to choose for themselves. But how many of us, we go to choose for ourselves, and then you feel it's like fear of judgment that comes up. What will they think about me if I choose this? What will they think about me if I do this? There's this feeling of, how can I describe this? Fear of missing out is a sign of people pleasing, like you never learned how to turn your people pleaser off. This idea, like you're in a group. I used to do this a lot. I would be at a party and I would wait. Someone would ask a question like, who's your favorite band? I would wait to hear what other people said, and then I would just agree with what they said because I so desperately wanted to fit in. That is a sign of people pleasing. If you don't agree with what somebody's saying, but you say that you agree, that is a sign that you are caught up in people pleasing. Keeping people around just because you've known them forever, just because they are related, regardless of how they treat you, even if they violate your boundaries, if you keep them around. That is a form of people pleasing. Tolerating behaviors that make you feel small or less than or angry. That is a form of people pleasing. Letting other people walk all over you again and again and again, sacrificing yourself. Putting your own mental health and self-care on the back burner. Pushing off your dreams to build someone else's dream. It's all people pleasing. It is all this biological mechanism that we were never trained or coached on how to outgrow and how to turn it off. And so here's the problem with people pleasing. It absolutely destroys your productivity. It turns off your internal GPS, your intuition, your guidance along your path. And as long as you are looking to please somebody or something outside of yourself, you are putting your power, your choice outside of yourself. You are saying, hey, I know you've never walked a day in my shoes, but you know me and you know my life better than me. And the only thing that you will ever get when you're operating out of a space of people pleasing is a watered down, dim, grungy version of yourself and a lukewarm version of that person's life. That is it. That is the lid that you put on yourself when you are trying to please somebody else outside of you. So this was a really big epiphany for me this year because I am a major former people pleaser. And it led to all kinds of crazy life choices and pitfalls and rock bottoms. And I completely lost myself. Like days where you wake up and you can't even look in the mirror. You can't even look at yourself because you don't know who you are. That's where I was. And now, I'm here. The moment that I was willing to step out of my powerless space of people pleasing, the moment that I was willing to actually choose myself and stop putting my decisions on anybody else outside of me, was the moment I was able to create this life. And we are literally free to go anywhere that we want to go. We are financially free, we are time free, and it didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take. You know, it was one of those things. I hear this saying a lot when it comes to little kids. The days are slow, but the years are fast. And there were some days that felt really freaking long, because this people-pleasing thing, this is just a symptom of a much bigger, emotional, complex trauma issue. It's just one symptom, and it affects every area of your life. And if you're really willing to dig in and look at where you're doing this, you're going to see some things that are uncomfortable. And you're going to have to choose to behave differently than you have been, than you've been used to, if you want to create something different in your life. And I think sometimes when you get into transformational work and you're choosing to have something different and be something different, because that's what it really is, it can feel exhausting and trying sometimes. However, it is worth it. I truly believe that the deeper that you were willing to go, and the more that you were willing to swim in your depths and in your shadows, that is the height to which you are able to rise. And the way to really create a life that is true and authentic to you is to stop the people-pleasing bullshit right now. Start setting some healthy boundaries in your life. Decide what is good for you, and then enforce that as a boundary. The people that are meant to be in your life and that are meant to go to the next level with you will respect your growth and your boundaries. And the people that don't will leave your life, and you will have space. You will have space for something new to move in. Okay. Anywho, I hope everybody has a really great night. I'll give you a great view of this awesome park one more time before I say goodbye. If you haven't been keeping up on our journey, we're on 2 months now. 2 months of being completely free and being able to go anywhere that we want to go. We're here. Ta-da! I hope everybody has a really great night, and let this serve as confirmation and inspiration for you that it is possible to radically, radically shift your life, and you're worth it. We'll chat soon.